Hello everybody, today we will do something a little bit different. We will fix our Pomona pump. So first of all, we have to heat this little guy to get it off. I will show you how to. In order to remove the pump head nut, or how you call it, in order to be able to remove the entire system, in order to repair the pump head, which has bad bearings in it. The next thing we will have to do then is remove these beautiful Allen keys, which haven't been loosened since the Second World War, I think, or the first one maybe, I don't know. So that's also a bit nasty. And then it should theoretically come off. But before you loosen up this nut, what you want to do is actually measure its depth, because it's basically adjusts how the impellers sit down there. Ideally, if you're able to, get the information from the pump manufacturer. Basically, it tells you how many turns you have to turn it in order to adjust it properly. After it stops touching the bottom, the impeller stops touching the bottom. You want to do that because if it touches the bottom, it will break. If it touches the top, it will also break. In some pumps, it actually won't really break it, but it will affect efficiency negatively if you have it in the middle, for example. So that ideally you will reach out to your pump manufacturer, and then he will tell you how much to tighten it up after it lifts off, which basically means that if it's fully loosened, you won't be able to turn it because it touches down there. And when it just starts to turn, then you can actually proceed with the adjustment. So this is basically what this entire thing means. Here you need to check if it's a left hand or right hand thread. In this case, if you take a look at it sideways, you will see that it goes like that, which means that this way it tightens, this way it tightens up. But a lot of them actually do have a left hand thread, just for your interest. So now put the tool on there. Now I will try to remove the impeller adjustment nut, which wasn't possible because it was seized on there. I resorted to heat it up cherry red, cool it down, heat it up again, and so goes on until I got it loose. I did the same with the bolts that actually kept the head on the pump, and it worked out pretty well. So now what we will do is, or what we had to do is remove the inner bearing. It's pretty tricky, it depends on the Pomona type you have. Some of them actually don't have a single pulley system. So the pulley is basically bolt on with 4 bolts, and then you can have the middle shaft, so basically the round part would be a separate part, and the pulley would be a separate part too, and it would be bolted on. In this case it's not, which makes the removal of the lower bearing pretty tricky. So in this case you will basically need a tool which can grab the race from inside here. So it basically is a ball bearing which has 2 flat sides in there. You put it in, you actually turn it by 90 degrees on both sides, and then you actually can pull it out. You will also need to machine a piece, a conical piece, which goes into here, so you can actually press with your puller against something. So yeah, this is a little bit nasty to do, to be honest, but in most cases you will have a separate pulley, because that's how most of them are made, so you won't have to deal with this stuff. So in order to install the bearings now, we will have to do the following thing. We will need to heat the lower one up. It's in the oven right now. Then we can drop it in and hit the inner race, because this is how, when I remove it, it was hitting. So basically it was stuck in here, which means that the other fitting isn't as strong, or it's not as tight, which means that we have to install this one first, and in this case it's the same. And then you can actually use a hydraulic press to press everything together. In my case, because I want to make it as simple as possible, I would just like to try something a little bit different, which is just installing it, heating it up, installing it like that, and then actually heating this part up with a heat gun and trying to assemble everything at once. So it will be interesting to see if it works out. If not, I mean, I can still pull it apart and try the other method. So basically now we will grab ourselves some gloves, and we will take the bearing. Well, now we are going to install the upper bearing, which is also acting as a thrust bearing. In order to do that, I looped up the spore. You can also cool it down if you want to make it easier, but in my case I heated up the bearing. This is the side which goes like this. This is the upper side of the pulley. This is the lower side of the pulley, and you want it to act as a thrust bearing, so we are going to install it like that. It also goes in by itself. You want to hit the inner race and not the outer one, otherwise you're going to damage the bearing, or you can damage the bearing. This is a heavy duty one, so this one won't actually get damaged that easy, to be honest, but you still want to avoid it, of course, because this is how it's done properly. You can also use a press and a socket, which would be even better than installing it like this one, like this. But this also works great, so don't worry about that. So now you can hear that the sound has changed, which means that it's fully seated. It's a little late, but now I found this one, so you can use this one if you would like to. So this would also work wonderful. It's heated up. I heated this part up, the inner part up, and then just pushed it, and it's done. Very easy. So after repairing the pump head, you want to check if your gland needs repacking. I mean, it's pretty nice now because the head is missing, so it's pretty easy to actually repack it. So you want to remove your old stuffing. You're using a pick or a stuffing pulling tool, whatever you like. Just make sure not to scratch the shaft. And then you want to make sure that the studs aren't corroded, or better said, you want the nuts to move freely. You can try to clean them up, but in my case they were too far gone, so I actually replaced them. I used Loctite in order to keep the moisture out. You can also use anti-seize, but you obviously risk removing the studs while trying to loosen the packing nuts. So basically what you need is the size of your packing. So you want the outer diameter and the inner diameter of the shaft. So bore and shaft. Then you will actually subtract the shaft diameter from the bore diameter, and then you will divide it by 2. And then you will actually have the thickness of packing you actually need to buy. So in my case it's 6 millimeters. In your case it might maybe more or less, whatever. So you obviously want to actually make sure that you get the right packing material, and that you also adjust it properly to make sure that it lasts long. In my case I use PTFE because it's the best you can get, in my opinion. There are also other alternatives, but you need to keep in mind what pH your water has, for example. If there is a lot of dirt in your water, for example, and so goes on. So there are a lot of parameters which you need to keep in mind before choosing the correct packing. Afterwards, you will have to see if your packing has to be cut straight or at a 45-degree angle. It depends on the packing manufacturer. So in my case, they told me to cut it at a 45-degree angle. And then what you also want to do is, ideally, you want to get on a lathe and make a shaft with the same diameter. So you can actually wrap your packing around it and then cut it. This is very important because you don't want to damage the shaft. But what you can also do is, which I will also do is, you can actually choose a part of the shaft which doesn't affect the function of it. So for example here, I mean, it just spins there, and there are no seals on there, and there is no fitting on there, and so goes on. So it doesn't matter if it's scratched or not. It doesn't affect the function of it. But of course, if the entire thing is assembled, it's impossible to do it like that. So you will need to create a dummy shaft in order to be able to wrap it around and cut it. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take our packing and we are going to wrap it around here in order to simulate how it's going to sit. And then we are going to cut it at a 45-degree angle. What's also important to mention is that PTFE packings actually expand a lot. So in most cases, you will need to tighten the packing up afterwards. But in this case, you may need to even loosen it up because you want some slight leakage in order for it to actually cool and lubricate the packing. You don't want it 100% sealed. So that's just a thing you need to keep in mind. PTFE may expand, so you need to be a little bit careful about that. And if you wondered what they used previously, this is the stuff I pulled out. So this was the packing. I don't know what it is, hemp rope I think, with mud and who knows. So it was pretty nasty, to be honest, and it was leaking like hell. So now this is our packing, and we're going to wrap it around the shaft. Now you want a really sharp knife in order to cut your packing, ideally in one cut. So this would be 45 degrees. After cutting your packing, you will actually wrap it around and push it in. And then you will take the gland and push it in even further. The next one you can actually do 90 degrees or 180 degrees apart. So the cuts are 180 degrees apart, so from this side to that side, which keeps the leakage to a minimum. And then you will take your gland again and push it in further and further and further. You will do this until the gland, you know, the part that goes into that, can sit approximately 3 to 5 millimeters inside the bore. So you actually want it to be not above the bore, so kinda inside the bore, approximately 3 to 5 millimeters. I won't film this because the risk is very high for my camera to fall into the well, which is 20 meters deep, and I don't want to risk it, but I will show you the result. First, you will put the gland on there and hand tighten both nuts. Also put anti-seize on both of them in order to keep them from seizing up, which will make adjustment not that nice. Well, now we are going to reinstall the pump head. I've cleaned the mating surfaces and I've also applied some grease on them so they won't stick together. This is how most people do it. I also greased up the shaft because it can also seize up there, which would also be no bueno. So now we are basically able to install it. You want to make sure that the keyway of your pump head is kind of aligned when you put it on, so it's easier to put it on there without fiddling around. But in worst case you can still adjust it, so that's not a problem. So let's go. that, and she's in there beautifully. Make sure not to squeeze your fingers in there. That's not nice. Now you can align it. So now just aligned it, and we're going to install the bolts with Loctite 263 because it stops galvanic corrosion, and I mean that's the most important part. You can also try anti-seize, but I don't want them to seize up on me. I also don't want them to come loose, so I use Loctite 263, which prevents both of that. Well, now we are going to tighten it down. Ideally, you will tighten it down by using a torque wrench, which I actually brought with me. The problem though is that those are imperial Allen keys, and my metric sockets don't fit in them, so that's no bueno, but I have to live with that. So basically I'm going to install blue Loctite, put it like this, and tighten it down with my key, which for some reason fits, although it's also metric. Well, now the beauty is assembled. I've installed the oil tube. The only thing that is missing is the adjustment nut. You're just gonna screw it on, and then, for example, now you will see that the Pomona isn't spinning freely, which means that the impellers are touching the bottom. You're going to tighten the nut down until it starts spinning, and then you're going to take your manufacturer's adjustment, which in this case is actually around, let me think, 4 to 5 turns after it starts spinning, and then you're done. You should also take into account the type of impellers you have, open type, closed type, and so goes on, because in some it doesn't really matter how you adjust it. I mean, considering its efficiency, you can just adjust it in the middle. So you have it in the bottom, you will tighten it up until it touches the top, and then you will just take the middle of that. It will be fine. In some others though, it won't be fine, and it will decrease the efficiency of the pump, which isn't nice. So in this case you need to stick with the manufacturer's recommendations. What you can also do is just take a caliper, measure how deep the nut was actually, you know, from top to bottom, and then you are going to adjust it again like that. It will be the same height, although it's not by the book. Ideally you will do it like I said. Once it starts turning, you will take your manual or manufacturer's recommendations, and you will adjust it according to that, and it will run beautifully. If you enjoyed this video, like, share and subscribe, and as always, have a nice day. Bye.